Let's hang on. All right. Okay. Welcome along to another Marketing Roundtable, our weekly session where we love to be able to give people a slice of marketing madness, a little bit of focus, and a great start to your Wednesday. So fantastic to see so many of you along, and I'm really looking forward to sharing the agenda today. So I'm going to share my screen. So should we dive into this? Who wants to dive straight into this? All right, got some thumbs up. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's share screens and get on to the old presentation. So how we work these sessions is for the first kind of 20 minutes or so, we'll deep dive on some ideas. And then the second part is that we round table, we kind of have the discussion, a Q&A session. I love to hear people's opinions. Anybody that's tried some of this stuff and had a result, then yeah, now is a great time to be able to bring that into open forum. We kind of aim to finish about 1:45. I normally stick around for sort of 5 minutes or so afterwards. So that's where the length of the session will be. Please do say hello to people in the chat. Use the chat for some lovely questions. Try not to do massive long intros because I can't ever see any of the questions and everybody kind of can't actually see it. But do say hello. Good. Okay. So energy. This was what my life looked like at the crikey, I can't even remember what day. It was about 2017, 2018. And it was just mental. I've got myself in a position where I was just at the latter stages of my agency. We had 28 staff by then. We were over $1 million in revenue. We were doing a load of different campaigns, and it was a crazy time, that agency. But at the same time, I also was a radio DJ for BBC. I was running BBC Surrey doing radio. I was also, to be fair, I was doing it for 3 different things. We had the Eagle radio, which is the local radio in Surrey. I had then the local town radio in what not I want to say with no bloody, I forgot the name of the blooming town now. Anyway, it was called Brooklands Radio that was there, and then the BBC as well. And so I was doing all those shows. And then one of my clients came in and had an issue with his company, which is a boiler servicing business. And so I ended up taking and buying a boiler servicing business out of receivership and growing that all at the same time, because I thought I was clever and Richard Branson could do it, right? So being a Richard, I could do it. So why wouldn't I, right? So we were doing that one as well. And then I had a small little spin-off company with a colleague, Jake, from my marketing agency. We then set up another company, which was a WordPress website support company called WPA. So that then added into the mix. And then, of course, we were running these huge events called the Lead Gen Summit, where we're inviting people every single month. We had sort of 200 people in a room talking and presenting about marketing. So my world was bloody crazy. Great fun in places, but yet the finance, all of those businesses, barring the marketing agency, which was there, all of them were fledgling. So when you've got a fledgling business, a little bit like a little fledgling in a nest, you've got to look after it. You've got to feed it. You've got to invest in it. You've got to train the staff. You've got to hustle yourself. You know, I'm always one for the business owner. If you've got a new business, we'll all know this, that we've got to go in and we've got to get stuff done. We've got to look at the processes. We've got to do the process before you can outsource the process. Within the business that we run now, which I'll talk about in a bit, we have a thing called TNAD. We talk about it as you try something, you nail it, you then automate it, and then you delegate it. TNAD, try it, nail it, automate it, delegate it. So when you're doing a fledgling business, you're the one that's trying stuff. And only when you nail stuff can you think about automating to remove parts of the human to then get and delegate it. So all of that's happening, right? So I needed a solution. And this book came onto my desk. And I think always at the right time, you know, there's that great kind of adage that the kind of the mentor appears at the time you need one, or the right thing appears at the time you need it. And I do a presentation a little bit like this about profit first. And at points I needed to actually think about profitability and cash flow. And the book Profit First hit my desk and it changed my world. This was one of those moments as well. This book, The One Thing, hit my desk and it changed everything. And the beauty of this book is it really helped you think about focus on what's the one thing you can do today to take you closer to your goals. Now, the irony is, if you don't know where your goals are, then anything that you do today will take you closer to it because you don't know where you're going, right? So therefore, there's some goal setting, there's some focus, there's some ability to actually get laser targeted on what you need to grow. And so that was the wonderful aha moment that hit my desk. And so I didn't just do anything. What I started to package up is my world. So instead of all of that energy going into different directions, I then realized that I needed to actually make it to go into one direction. And I went to Austin in Texas for it's an American authors. One of them's like a billionaire property guy, and another one, they co-wrote it. Another one's a very successful business owner as well. And they did a goal setting retreat. And so I thought, right, I'll go on to that. But it was a couples goal setting retreat, which was so I had to go convince my wife to go on this like rah American, like, yeah, man, like go, like God, you see, and if you've ever met my wife, she is kind of very it's just not American rah stand up and shout and scream type person in a group, like, so that was kind of hell for her. But it was the most mind-blowing thing that made me realize what the big aha was for us, was that I was just being pulled in all these different directions, and I needed to put all of the energy, of which you can probably tell I have quite a lot of anyway, in the right direction. And this is the thing for you. Most of the people that I speak to, most of the clients that we coach, find themselves working on multiple projects, or even within the one business, working with multiple clients, with multiple different services, with multiple elements. And that is some of the moments, and that's some of the help that we're going to go through, some of the systems we're going to talk about today to be able to help you refine your focus. So my energy looks in that way. So how did I do it? What did I have to do? Well, removing the radio, although was a shame because I really enjoyed doing it, was easy. I just had to kind of hand in my notice and say I'm going. But I had to go and sell all those businesses, and I did. So my marketing agency, luckily, as we were going on this, was just in the process of being sold anyway. We were doing a big sale on that. That went off to a company that then listed on the Stockholm Stock Exchange. Great. So that was kind of the first taste of it as well. And the beauty of that was the biggest one. And so therefore all the contracts, all the marketing, all the stuff I kind of went through. So then I kind of pumped the boiler servicing business for a year and managed to get that over $1 million in revenue, 7 vans on the road, flogged that. I also then did a management buyout to that business partner you saw for WPA, and he brought out my business. Luckily, with things like bounce back loans and all the rest of it back in the day, he was able to access an actual kit of cash to be able to do that. And so he was able to buy that. So great, I've now got three of them done. And so what was I left with? Well, I was left with that events, the lead gen summit. And so we then converted that into a mastermind coaching, and ultimately that then rebranded into the $1 Million Sprint. In fact, Ismail, who's here, was an original lead gen masterminder from the lead gen group. John, I think that you were you $1 Million Sprint or were you lead gen?
I think it was $1 Million Sprint, Rich.
Yeah,
we worked there about 6 months, didn't we?
Yeah.
You used to send me lots and lots of tasks in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent, though. Excellent.
Bless you. Thank you so much. So just that time. So we went from being lead gen mastermind into $1 Million Sprint, and that was part of my rebranding, because I got focused on not just one business for me, but actually, and this is the important piece for you guys to think about, I got really focused on the result that our clients wanted. And that is vitally important. Let me just show you this, because whenever you're thinking about your business, you should be actually looking at the result that you give to your clients, right? So that result at the top, that is the most important thing. And if we are thinking not deep enough about who we help and how we help them, then we won't really be able to get clarity on that. So let me just explain that. If I was my marketing agency back in the day when we were just being everything to everyone, I would go, well, the result that they want is they want to have a nice brand, so we need to do them a logo. And then the result we want is that they want to be able to give some business cards out at a networking event, and so we need to give some really nice business cards. The result that they want is a new website because this one's slow. Actually, that isn't the result they want. That is like superficial surface level. Actually, what is the result that my clients wanted from my marketing agency? They wanted leads, right? Oh, I suspected that might happen because I couldn't see me writing. That is the word leads, believe it or not. I tell you what, although the rainbow pen is very fetching, let's just try and go to normal white pen. Okay, good. Let's just move this around. Oh, crumbs, I'm messing around. So the result really was the fact that they wanted leads, they wanted inquiries. And so that's the important piece, because actually that gives them sales. And so we really doubled down and became a lead generation agency with the marketing agency. We stopped being a full digital agency. We became a lead generation agency because we realized that was the result that clients wanted. And then from there, we were able to do this, which is take them on a journey from where they are now. We empathize with where they are now. We know, hey, you haven't got a reliable system. It's not going to give you consistency in terms of lead generation. You can't guarantee your growth because you don't know how many inquiries you're getting. And so therefore the step system was: 1, we need to do an audit. 2, we need to be able to do this. 3, we need to be able to do this. 4, 5. Now you have a journey to get clients from where they are now to the result that you want them. And therefore you can build a product around that. And if you build a product around that, that becomes the one product, talking about the one thing that you get clients to do. Here's the issue, right? If most clients online that we see get told that they should do this ladder, this value ladder of services, right? You should have free down here, then you should have something for like $49 or something, and then you should have like a bronze, silver, gold, then there's a platinum VIP thing over here. And before you know it, what happens is you sell, a few people on here, a few people on here, you got a few people to service here, you got like 2 or 3 people to service on here, and it's just all over the place. So these guys go, well, I want to have some of this, but I don't want to upgrade to that. But actually, can I have a little bit of this and a little bit of that? And before you know it, that person's now gone on to bespoke, because they go, oh, you could do, it's not really in your package, and bam. So you've got bespoke person over here, bespoke person. What do you think this looks like? It looks like this. You don't know who's doing what you're serving for people, and you can't optimize, and your team can't get really good at doing just a set of deliverables that's consistent for each client. So this is why we say this is wrong. And actually, a lot of people who teach this, ultimately what they've done, so let's think about the gurus, right? The gurus would have got a, let's say consulting, so this was business coaching stuff, so the industry that I'm in at the moment, they would have had a one-to-one product that they would have done. People would have paid them one-to-one. They realized that they got really full, so they increased the price of this, and they realized, well, that's now capped me. I can't really do any more else. So what I need to do is I need to build up these services so I can downsell people because there's so much demand in here. Now, that's great when you're a guru because they're getting loads and loads of demand. The issue is when we're a small business is that we don't really have this much demand. And so therefore we try and do this ladder, but ultimately this ladder is downsells, not upsells. So what am I saying? Instead of trying to sell people a whole portfolio of solutions, focus on one target market, right? One type of person, one product, and therefore you can now create one type of marketing campaign to be able to attract that type of person to that product. A funnel, one funnel. Now, let's build that up even further, right? So let's go back and share this, right? So this is what we would say the power of one. What we say is that you should have one way of building awareness, one way for the people that are aware of you to consider you, and then one way to get them to convert. Awareness, consider, convert. What do I mean by that? If you just focused on one social media channel, don't focus on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, God knows what else, right? Go deep, not wide. If you went really deep on LinkedIn, think about all the things that you could do on LinkedIn. And I'm not biased towards LinkedIn. You could be doing Facebook. I love Facebook. Whatever your audience, it's not about you. It's about your audience, that real target market, the one person that's going to buy your one remarkable solution. If they hang out on LinkedIn, think about all the things you could do on LinkedIn. You could do LinkedIn events. You could have a LinkedIn group. You could do LinkedIn direct messaging to them. You can do connection campaigns to them. You could do an article. That article would become a newsletter that gets delivered automatically via LinkedIn's article distribution into their email. You could be doing things such as partnerships. You can be going live every single day on LinkedIn. You could be posting. You could be doing shorts. LinkedIn is like a platform of depth, and we scratch the surface. We just take a slice off because we know that we're trying to do content all over the place. But going deep there makes you the most abundant person in your target audience's world, and they will gravitate towards you. So they are now aware of you, right? Now, once they're aware of you, then what are you going to do? Well, you need them to actually consider you. You need a piece of thought leadership. So we talk about the one weekly moment. What is your weekly moment? The one crescendo of your week that you want people to gravitate towards. This is our weekly moment. I do a marketing roundtable every single week. It's 45 minutes, as we know. And the whole point of it is we present something and then we meet the people that come along, you fabulous people, and we can have conversations and we can enrich that conversation. This is my week. This is my one piece of marketing we do. Other people that we work with think about doing a podcast each week, and they get guests on it. They get great guests. They do a fantastic podcast. Some people do a newsletter each week that they send out with lots of content in there. Other people will think about doing like a great YouTube or a live or a webinar. Whatever that thing is, give yourself the freedom to make it just one amazing, remarkable thing that you do. And instead of trying to put out posts every single day or write an article a day or whatever it is, bundle up all that energy and do one thing. So you're building great awareness on one platform. You're inviting all those people that are wearing you into your one weekly moment. And then from there, you then open the door, if it's appropriate, for people that come to that weekly moment to say, hey, if you wanted to have a demonstration of the work that I do, maybe you're a you're a coach, or you're an agency, or you're someone that can help people to be able to do X, Y, and Z. You say, look, I've shared some ideas on this weekly moment, but if you are interested in learning a bit more about how this works for you, then you can book into a demo with me. Bam, you've now got one thing. Maybe it's called a strategy session. Maybe it's a discovery meeting. Whatever it is, you package that meeting up. So you've now got one meeting. So we go from awareness, consider, convert, and then deliver. And we say deliver should have three things that are the focus. You should have one amazing onboarding process. That onboarding process is delight. So we've fallen down into the deliver piece now, which is the three parts there, right? The delight part of deliver should all be about blowing people's minds as they buy from you. Give them a fantastic onboarding experience, really look after them, get them working well, right? That makes people happy. They don't get buyer's remorse. Then you should have one way of gamifying the experience for them. Why do you gamify the experience for them? If you can get people winning at your product. So I'll give you an example. We have a leaderboard within our accelerator of the most engaged people within our process and the people that are succeeding the most, right? We give out trophies to people that hit our $1 Million Hall of Fame. We gamify it because we've got different stages, different heats. So heat 1 is 5K, heat 2 is 10K, heat 3 is 20K, heat 4 is 40K, right? And so therefore we have gamified the growth of our clients. We celebrate with our clients the gamification. Okay, what could you do to gamify the delivery of your product? So when people are delighted and they bought from you, they then start your game and they're winning at your game. Now, what does people that are delighted and winning do? Well, they tell other people. And if you have one advocacy program, i.e. one referral program, one partnership program that you could talk to your clients about and pay them a commission if they refer people, then not only are you going to keep them happy because they're referring you and they're getting paid for it, great, but you're also then winning new clients really easily through the referrals, right? So awareness, consider, convert, delight, gamify, advocacy. That, my friends, is the power of one. Now, I do agree that there is 6 pieces in there, but there is one thing to do within each slice, and each slice is vital. And so therefore, you can then focus on this one funnel, that one delivery system, and one type of target audience, one product delivery, and your business will scale. My business was working around this sort of 200K with the marketing agency, really trying to, it was like a glass ceiling. The more people I recruited, the less money I made, but I still couldn't get over the 200K because we were doing too many things and nobody was optimized. And every one time we won a client, we'd have to go and recruit someone else. So what did we do? We focused on a lead generation product and got rid of all the other products and slowly let all the other smaller clients go. And that lead generation product paid the right amount of money, had the right type of clients, and we scaled. And ultimately, it's the reason why our business was brought. So, my friends, that is the power of one. That is the aha and the journey. And hopefully some of that will resonate with where you guys are. Maybe just in the way that you're maybe selling too many things or trying to serve too many customers or have a side hustle that's actually not a side hustle. It's more like a side time drain as opposed to a hustle. What could you be doing to be able to really focus? So I hope that's helped. I want to open the floor to questions now or thoughts and feedback around this. Let's foster some discussion, gang. We've got time. Who wants to go first? Charlie, yes.
I'm really slow at unmuting. I'm really sorry. Anyway, right. So my business is HR. I'm nicknamed and very well known as the Smiling Assassin. So dare I say I do fire a lot of people, do disciplinaries, etc. However, I also do a lot of contracts and handbooks. I do recruitment, I do appraisals. So therefore, I personally really struggle with the power of one in terms of like something for the business. And I'm nervous for me personally, if I suddenly go to power one and say, right, okay, I'll just do contracts all day, every day, which is fine. That's not a problem. However, I'm losing all those other potential clients. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are there.
The product is the flagship product. Okay. Now it can be a really simple, small product, but it should be your high ticket flagship product. You should be looking at less volumes of clients. Now, you never fire clients, right? We're not here to go and like rip up the business and throw it away. What you do is that you start to niche your marketing, you niche your pitching, your proposition, and you only go after those high ticket clients that are going to buy the big flagship product. And ultimately over time, you then find that, you know, you go from 20% of people buying your flagship to 80% of people buying that, and you stop actually selling the other stuff. So that's then gives you a portfolio of great clients, and you still do those small bits for, you know, if you've had a client for 5 years, you're not going to give them, unless they're a pain in the ass, you don't fire them straight away, right? So what you would do is you would think, right, if I was a company, you think about your perfect client, right? Ours was called Colin. Okay. So Colin, perfect client. He was brilliant, really helped. He was our first person that brought our flagship product. Ideal, right? 50 staff, IT company, service. So service sector, owner operated, and the business owner was engaged in the marketing, right? That was kind of our niche that we wanted to find that person. Colin was brilliant. So we called all of our people, it was either Colin or a Colinetta. Everybody was a Colin because that was our focus. We knew what a Colin was. That was our target market. Now, we then produced the product that worked for him. It was a $3,000 a month product in the end, because it was a great marketing service. We did a load of things for them. We would do a weekly video, weekly blog, daily social media, and run ads. And that was our lead generation, because that is everything that we knew that we needed to do to give the return on investment and the leads that they needed. So flip that into your HR model. If someone wanted to outsource their entire HR function to someone, what would be the things that they would be doing? They would want you to be doing the contracts, maybe a bit of recruitment, maybe there's something else, whatever it is. And so they'll list that out, talk to them, list out what is a full and remarkable solution, package that up, and then go and find people that want to just get rid of their HR function and do that. Okay. That's the way that you would go, because one win, maybe they're spending £1.5 grand a month or whatever it is, one win would equal multiple tiny wins. And so it's better to just focus on going on one win. Now, let me give you some numbers, Charlie. So this is what we expect our clients to go and achieve when we put this system in place. Okay, so when we coach clients in the $1 Million Sprint, we give them the templates, the system, etc., to be able to go after this, right? And so what we want them to get is 30, 20, 5, 2, right? So this is the focus. So we want them to get 30 bookings onto their weekly moment, right? To then have 20 attendees. If they get 20 attendees, they should get 5 strategy sessions. And if they get 5 strategy sessions, they should get 2 sales, right? So 30, 25, 2. Now, Charlie, if you were, tell me what you think the average outsourced full HR department type business model, what would people be paying per month for that?
So for the full package is, well, $599 off the top of my head.
Per month.
But yeah, per month. I'm not.
That's right.
I'm really hopeless with money and what to charge. But my small one is £59 a month, and that's ironic. Well, not ironic, but it's called basically it's Ring Ring, because I talk for England and I can talk. So, yeah.
well, look, let's just for the purpose of this, let's get rid of the small one, right? Yeah. Because otherwise, you give people 3 options, they'll choose the middle one, and it's never really where people should be going, right? So it's given the full remarkable solution. So if you're saying $599 per month, right? Yeah. In pounds, I presume, so £599, right? So let's times that by the 2 sales that you'll be getting per week, right? So at this system, so this is what you're adding per week, but then of course you're gonna keep them for a year, right? So say you're signing up for a 12-month, because a flagship should be a 12-month minimum. So times that by 12, that's how much those 2 people are going to net for you per month. Now let's times that now by selling 2, so 30, 22 every single week. Rhythm, it's momentum. 30, 22 because it's a weekly moment. The weekly moment creates an opportunity for strategy sessions and sales every single week. That's the whole point of it, right? So let's times this by 12, and then that will give us an opportunity to see what the actual result would be. So hang on, what am I doing? So let's go 599 times that by 12, right? So that's what an average client would get. There was 2 of them, which equals that. So that's the amount. And then you times that, of course, it's weeks, because I was timesing it by 12, my fault. It's weeks. So you'd be selling every single week. Let's give you 2 weeks off for Christmas. So let's times that by 50 weeks in the year. And so therefore your revenue at this model will be $718,000. Now, if you converted that into dollars, that's around about $1 million, right? So the concept of what we talk about in terms of the $1 million sprint is for you, Charlie, and I think you should put your prices up anyway, but it's just these 2 sales a week gets you in and around $1 million business. So it's about rhythm. And when you think about rhythm, actually, how do you get 30 bookings a week to an event? Well, it's about having a system in place. And so if you are, so let's give you an idea. So let's go deep on LinkedIn, because we're talking about LinkedIn. If you are looking to do a connection request, so we say to people, right, load up a number of people in a search in a connection campaign, push out connection requests to them, do a connection, then have a set of messages that you give to people when they connect. And those messages, what do? You're saying hello. And who are you inviting them to? You're inviting them to your weekly moment. Bam, right? And then also when people connect on you, you can automatically add them into your email sequence. We show people how to do this. And then your email sequence can be also automatically people inviting you into your weekly moment. You can just create this as a complete campaign, and you can be doing, 20 connection requests a day. If you're using Sales Navigator, you can kind of get through this and do about 60 connection requests a day. And so if you're getting sort of 20, 30 connections most days, actual people connecting with you, then you're going to be able to get up to this 30. And of course, people can come to more than one of these events. You start to build momentum, you then build. And that's just one strategy. There's a ton of different strategies about to do it. But that, my friends, is a fantastic way of doing it. And let me just show you one other way of doing it. So when we coach our clients, we get them to set up a Trello board, and that Trello board is what they do on a daily basis to be able to promote their weekly moments. Let me just show you R1. So this is R1. This is our what we call our 13-week cycle. And so these are the different events, and the one of them, and I'm just going to show you one of these cards. So these are all the different stuff. So you do an engagement creator, you promote stuff, you ask people for their replay, you do thought leadership posts, you do promotional posts. One of them is an engagement creator post. So this is just a poll. So this week is a LinkedIn a week for us on ours. We created a poll to ask people, do they use LinkedIn as their primary platform? What happens on these polls is that we get a ton of people voting. Look, 219 votes. So what do you think I do with these 219 votes? I simply reach out to those 219 people. I send them a direct message using this button, and I say, hey, Anthony, thank you so much for your vote. We're actually running an event on Wednesday around LinkedIn lead generation. Would you like to come to it? Bam, here's the link. That's 219 opportunities to get 30 registrations. And that's just one post. One tactic. And so, my friends, it's all about systems. It's about process, and it's about focus and knowing what you're selling, who you're selling it to, and how you go sell it. That's exactly how you do it. I saw John had a second question, so I'm gonna come to Mr. Cooper in a second. But Charlie, did that help to give you a bit of focus?
Brilliant, thank you.
So that's a good. Just before I jump onto John's question, that's a great example of how we can kind of look at people's pricing strategies, focus, what their flagship product is. And we do this within a session that we host at 12:30 every Wednesday UK time. And in that session, we'll be looking at you specifically and what your flagship product could be, what your campaign could be. So it is our opportunity to demonstrate how this system works for your business. If you want to book that session, again, it's a complimentary session with me. Just simply jump onto our website, $1 Million Sprint. I'll share the link in here, but I'll show you how to do it. You see here this free strategy session. You jump into this page, free strategy session, and you click this orange button here, and you'll get to my calendar. Look, so we do one session a week. Look, so there's 3 sessions left this month, and we have opportunity for people to jump into that this week. So this afternoon, and we still got some slots. They are limited, these slots, so do quickly jump onto that link now. I put it into the chat, as I say, and you can just click on there, book the one meeting, bam, you're in. And we do that. It's a great session. It's only about 4 to 5, maybe maximum 7 people that go into each one of those sessions, and that allows us to really go deep on your business, the strategies and the tactics that I suggest that you guys do. Cool. Okay, Mr. Cooper, thank you for your question. Far away.
So it's kind of on the back of what Charlie was talking about. So growing the business, growing the lead is one thing, but doing the work is something else entirely different. It'd be great to get all those leads and convert, which is the plan. So I've been working on some of my services, and one of them is an editing service, which supports the website.
Yeah.
And when editing work came in, yes, I did all the work because that was the relationship with the customer. But actually, there's a finite amount of time I've got. And to be fair, if I'm spending time editing, that I'm not growing the business, I'm doing all the wrong stuff. I'm working in the business, not on it. So the first thing I did was have a look at the marketplace, see what people were charging. And as Richard said, Charlie, put your prices up, they do look a bit low. But
No.
I was charging £60 an hour for editing, which customers were very happy with. But actually, when I went to £80, which is what I've done recently, they were equally as happy because they're getting the service they want. But what that gave me was an extra £20, and I'm now paying £25 to a VA who's fully conversant with the system. She's doing all the work. So it's cost me an extra £5, but all of a sudden I've grown the business on that element, but I'm not doing the work. I'm still growing the leads, which is a really important thing. If you do the growth and don't do the backup, then that becomes a problem. And I think Richard hit it on the nail on the head with yours, with the price.
Yeah.
So people, if the price goes up, you get rid of the chaff.
Yeah.
You get the better client, and that's what you want. But you can also then, I don't know how your business works, but you then can give work to other people, perhaps, that you're not doing now, maybe. I don't know. But that was certainly it for me. And I'm developing another side of my business as well. Richard said about focusing on the one. But yes, I am focused on one more thing. But at the same time, using that same approach of making sure that I'm not doing the work when it's finished.
Yeah.
But it's all the preparation beforehand. And now I've got the custom avatars worked out, that one market, one person looking for.
Yeah.
The marketing's now heading towards that.
Yeah.
So it makes it easy to focus.
I love it, John. It's about going that deep, not wide. And actually, Gina, you mentioned in the chat there, saying if I get all those sales, how would I deal with all the work? So it's kind of a bit of a nod to what John's saying. Gina, what is the business that you have?
Well, I'm a life coach, and I work with people with chronic illness, and it's a bit of a movement really about changing perspective of illness and seeing it as something else, seeing it as something positive. So I've been sort of building this in the last 5 years, but I've been sort of hitting Facebook, LinkedIn, and it's the same thing that I'm selling, but it's very different, customer avatars. So in LinkedIn, I want to go into corporate and, partner with them really, and be part of their training and development wellbeing program. So actually they put the human at the heart of their organization and really care and nurture for that human, and then that human becomes so that's the idea. And thanks to your free challenge thing that I only really did the first couple of days to, the second day was enough. I'd been building contacts, so I've got a good load of contacts, but actually getting clear on what I was offering was something that I didn't do, and we created a little thing. And I've got 2 sales calls next week, which is a first for me. I've not had one in corporate, so I'm now, oh my God, what do I need to ask them? This is a whole different thing. I'm putting together sort of, my idea of a proposal and some questions that I need to find out about them. But then I'm thinking, one client's probably enough for me, because I don't know what I'm doing. This is like, I'm sort of playing it as I go. So I need to get the first client in order to then develop actually what does this look like and how does that, really help the business.
Definitely. Let me give some real further work on. And thank you, Gina. That, by the way, that's awesome. For people that don't know, we did a 5-day challenge, LinkedIn challenge, get yourself on LinkedIn. It worked great. Obviously, Gina, you're getting calls off the back of it, so I appreciate that. If anybody's interested in that, by the way, we are closing down the Facebook group that we did it in, so we're not, it's a non-supported challenge anymore. But I do have the recordings of that challenge on our YouTube channel, so I'll just share it for everybody in the chat here. So my channel here, and where are you? Videos, or actually it is okay on the homepage. Hang on, stop that. And you've got LinkedIn 5-day challenge here. You can see it, so all of the days there are in there if people want to go and have a look at that. So I will share this here, so just sharing it in the chat there to have a look at. Cool, right, so to help you out, Gina, so this is important, and Alan Gardner's in the house as well, so I said I would also answer Alan Gardner's question as well. So let me just jump into this. Right. So when you are a coach, right, the biggest problem is you sell your time. Remember, I was talking about how everybody sells their time and they do the one-to-ones or they do corporate stuff. And then before you know it, they've got 2 or 3 clients. And that is the cap. That is as far as you can go. The problem is, as Gina says, if I sell all these companies, I wouldn't have enough time, right? So how you do this is by doing a hybrid model. And you set this up so everybody can go into the same flagship product, the same hybrid. And how you do that is, remember, we talk about that you've got to have your ideas. And if you can package your ideas up into a resource center, then that will help. Because remember, we go from result, from where they are now, there's a lovely journey here. Maybe it's got, 6 steps. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where the learning can come in, because you stop yourself from repeating yourself. We have someone that deals with childhood trauma that does coaching. They run the same model. She's doing great. And so don't worry, you can still do stuff that is personalized but in this model. So just sort of people kind of go, oh, but I have to do one-to-one because the it's all very personalized. Actually, group, you know, if the AA and other things can do group, and trauma groups can still do groups, then there is definitely the ability to do group, right? So you do the online piece there. This helps people to do their online learning. But actually, when anybody's trying to make a big change, they need leadership. They need to feel like they're part of a community. They want to have personalized advice, and they need to make a routine of trying to solve the problem. They need to make it habit, right? So that then takes people from going, not really knowing who can help me with this, to finding Gina as the leader. So going, oh, I don't really know anybody else that's dealing with this problem, to, oh, I'm in the right room. Everybody's got the same sort of issue as me. They're asking the same questions. They go from actually going, oh, I'm not quite sure about how this stuff works for me personally, to actually now I'm getting personal advice just for me. And we go from, oh, I'm not sporadically trying to sort this out, to I've now made a habit of sorting this out. Bam, we now make the change, right? A decent online program should do that. And the kicker for the fifth thing is accountability. That's what locks this all in. Accountability to work on your stuff, accountability to be a good community member, to ask personal questions, and also to show up, right? So that accountability locks all of that in. Cool. So that is just leadership. This is what a lot of online courses try and do, leadership, and nobody really wants that anymore. We're kind of over the online courses. So how do you help? You do drop-in clinics, and these online drop-in clinics, maybe they're just an hour. You do them, say, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. You now, instead of doing like 2 one-to-one sessions with someone a month, you now have the ability to see them 3 times a week. And so therefore you are actually more accessible. And so there's routine in that. But also those drop-in clinics give you the ability to give them personalized advice. And of course, you do them as groups so people can kind of drop in and see other people. So then that gives community, right? And of course, you can then, there's leadership as well in there, right? So you can see how that really helps. And when someone comes in, they'll do this bit, they'll drop in, and you go, okay, right, now you need to do this bit, this bit, this bit, then come see me on Friday, and then we can see how it worked, right? And you can see how you can give them a tailored experience, even in a group scenario. And then the final thing that you put in here is a community, right? So you use a community like a Facebook group, like a private group, or even if you want to keep it off social media, like you do like a Slack channel, or there's other things like a Mighty Net, you know, there's other stuff like Mighty Network stuff you could use, but a community like a Facebook group, and you put the recordings of these sessions in there. So that again gives routine in there. Of course, it's a community, so it is community, but you can carry on personalizing, asking questions. So you can see how this whole thing, that's just short sort of 5-minute action videos. This is your kind of recordings and the place where people can hang out. And these are your ways that you can drop in clinics. That gives you a fantastic experience where you can, instead of having like 10 clients, you could have 100 clients in this and still easily help people, because not everybody goes to every single session, right? The final thing you want to do is accountability. So what you ask on Monday is, hey, what's the one thing you're going to focus on this week? And the community says it on a post. Well, go away. Bloody things popping up. Go away. Right. So you ask them what the thing, and everybody then says, I'm going to do those things. And then on Friday, you ask them how they got on, bam, and then everybody says how they got on. You just added accountability into a group. That really works. That there is a bit of gold in there, Bear Mountains. So that's how you could handle 2 clients a week. And just because it might be on the tip of your tongue, if you sell that into an organization, and you want to sell organizations, what you say to them is that I will package up that product unique to you organizations, and therefore they do a price per person they add into that system. So you package that up and do an in-house of that exactly same system for the organization, and so therefore that could work.
Yeah, no, that's
just before you
that's
ask that question, sorry, because I'll tell you what, I understand I've gone over. I am sticking around for 5 minutes, and I will answer Alan Gardner's question.
I'm sorry,
I'll come back on you, Gina. Gina, what do you think of that?
Yeah, that's really given me some ideas of, I still need to go to the first client and have my case study, get my testimonials, find out how it really works. But that's given me some really, good ideas, thoughts about where I can go with it, definitely.
Fantastic.
So thank you.
Great stuff. Awesome, Gina. Look, just before we jump to Alan, just a reminder, look, the stuff that I do with clients, I put together these type of diagrams, funnel diagrams for the clients that we work with, and we discuss it in the strategy session that I'm suggesting that you guys book. The people that we work with get results. These are some of the great results. People are getting 3 sales in the week, 8K in the bag. This is great. This is Lilac who just sold her first flagship for £3,000. Now she's got to build it. So remember, this is the type of place that people are. 9K deal here. And the road, this is our journey, is laid out with these different heats. 1K for heat 1, 10K, 20K, gold medal races, 40K. We have the road that's laid out ahead of you, and the journey is there. So these are some of our clients that hit the $1 Million Hall of Fame. And so it works, it happens. And we'd love you to book. So jump into this is what we do in the strategy session. We look at where are you now, where would you like to be in 12 months time. We look at the campaign, the process that will get you there, and then only if it's appropriate we ask if it's going to work for $1 Million Sprint. The link, remember, is in the chat, and so I just stick it in there. Now I'm going to put it in. Sorry, I just realized that I'm going live in Facebook, and I'm going to stick it into the chat on Facebook. I think I am. I didn't go live. Okay, I didn't go live on Facebook, so we're recording it, so we'll upload this. Hey, okay, so Alan Gardner, $1 million sprinter, Alan Gardner. How are you doing? God, we get lots of the old alumni today. Fantastic. How's things, mate? Oh, you're muted though. You are muted. No, still muted. Just as Alan unmutes, I'll just let you know that I will be finishing about 5:02. So just if you're sticking on this, we'll deep dive on this. But great to see you if anybody is diving off. Okay, Alan, over to you.
Yeah, so as Richard knows, I've done his program and it's been great. And I jumped on the 5-day LinkedIn challenge the other day, a couple of weeks ago. And that really set some stuff free, actually, to do that systematically and boldly. Just, don't want to take up any time, bish, bash, bosh. And I've sent out, whatever, 85 a day. And I think LinkedIn kicked me off, so I went premium, so I'm back on again. And long and short is I've got about 3 meetings from that campaign. But actually the courage and the putting it out there kind of energy, which I developed, just articulating my offering, meant that I went to a live event last week, and there's a room of 127 ideal clients, and I managed to network about 60 of them, having previously warmed them up alongside, to sort of get. So I literally walked around to people's exhibits, and they were like, "Oh, Alan, hi, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck are you?" But it didn't matter because they knew me. So that was fun. And I've now got 12 registrations of interest. And I realize I'm completely overwhelmed. I just don't quite know what to do with myself. So I've been awake at 3 o'clock this morning, which I think is when I texted Richard and said, help. How do I go from no leads to 12 leads and manage them in a timely manner to make sure that I harvest the most I can?
Yeah, I think this, first of all, congratulations. And it's beautiful when you start to get momentum and you get in front of people. So obviously, one of the things that I say is that when you do get in front of them, pitch just your flagship product. Know that you're pitching flagship product because you've got an abundance of opportunity. Pitch it well, pitch the same thing. And the thing that you should be selling should be quite time optimized, i.e. big value, big price, but yeah, well optimized on your delivery. Because if you do win, say you win half of them and they want it all in the first quarter of next year, you can deliver that. And so Alan's stuff is big sort of epic videos for independent schools, and so there's quite time heavy on his point of view. So hence why we need to make sure that we focus on that, right? The next thing I'd say is you've got 12 open doors, and think of yourself as a kid just running along. You would run along and go bam, 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 and just try and close every door. And think of these opportunities as open doors. You've got to close every single one as quickly as possible. Hell to what happens with your diary, hell to what happens in terms of workload. Just get every single one of them into your diary. Get an appointment, get it set, get it done, because not everyone will come off, and know that. but doggedly go after everyone as if it will come off. And then every now and again, you will get a pushback, and carry on networking and talking to that person, because there is opportunity there. Now, then you start to get in a position where you're doing those appointments and you might be winning. And so therefore, what does an oversubscribed person able to do? To say, great, no problem. We have, we're working with this client, we're shooting for this school that week. We've got this school next week. And they're suddenly going, wow, okay, that's now social proof and credibility. So they're going to want you more. And so that will help you to close that deal, but it will also help you to tell them that you understand that they can't come to you straight away. We're having this big project here. We've got a fantastic painter that's doing stuff he's sought after, and we had to book him months in advance to make sure he got in and did our property. And so you are exactly the same. You are oversubscribed, you are desired by the marketplace, and so therefore you will win more clients, because that's what someone that is oversubscribed does. And you can handle those clients because they understand that, because you were upfront with them and telling them that you've got these great opportunities. So that, my friend, is how I would approach it. I'd love to get your feedback on what your thoughts are, or what your first step should be to doing that.
Yeah, well, today it's really just call them all. Just follow them all up with a phone call.
Yeah.
Get a date in the diary.
Yeah.
Simple as that. If I do that today, that's a good day's work actually to get 12 of them nailed.
Right.
The other thing is interesting.
Get a date in the diary to go and actually physically see them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think the internet just went.
Yeah, I've got one date in for 29th of 29th of November. So that's fantastic. The other thing I need to realize is I can't really shoot this stuff until the spring. So my main objective is to get deposits. So the last job I did, I got a 33% deposit,
Nice.
In advance, which is a great way to calm me down, to say, we both know we're in it. We are doing this for sure. There's no ifs, buts, and maybes. So let's get the meeting, get the face-to-face visit, get them enrolled, get the deposit.
Yeah. You've also got to give them something to get that deposit. So at the meeting, my plan is to do the whole spiel, let's get it from a loose idea to a specific project that we're going to pursue. So I'm giving them half a day is actually what I'm giving them for free, right, to hook them into the deposit, which is maybe not the smartest move, but it'll do for now. Yeah, that's your pitch. That's cool. But then what I would do is I'd be saying to them that there's a load of work that needs to be done before the spring that you got to work on. There's assets they got to get you. You want to do site appraisals. You want to look at stuff. So I would be telling them there's like 3-4 months of work that you've got to put in over that period to get ready for the shoot, and for them to be ready, you to be ready, everything. And so therefore, it's probably only just about enough time now, if they said yes, before Christmas, for you to actually get it done for the spring.
Nice. That repositions that, doesn't it?
Yeah, because they will know. You're lucky. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're lucky. Thank God we're speaking now, because if we were speaking after Christmas, we might be too late.
Like that. Thank you.
I got a dash.
Thank you
Alan,
so
you're
much.
A hero. Everybody's a hero. Fantastic to see all you lovely people here. Look, thank you to all the people that have actually booked a strategy session. My phone's been buzzing in my pocket. So thank you for those people. If you haven't yet, do jump onto that. It'd be great to see you. And if you have booked in and also you lock yourself in for next Wednesday, Marketing Roundtable, 9 o'clock UK time, every single week. Take care. See you later.
Thank you, Richard.
Bye, guys.